Good. So the question we are talking about, evaluate 2 divided by square root of. Now I will not say square root of 4 because square root of 4 is a 2, so that is basically 2 over 2. So we want to evaluate this one, 2 over square root of 8. So to evaluate it, the first thing is I need to express this one in simplest form. So this is the same as 2 over, what is the smallest square number that can go into 8? 4. So therefore 8 is the same as 4 times 2. And this is going to give us 2 divided by the square root of 4 is a 2. This is going to be 2 square root of 2. And the 2 can simplify with a 2 there. So that is going to give us 1 over square root of 2. Okay. And then from there, what do you think? What are we going to do for us to be able to rationalize the denominator? When you're evaluating, in other words, rationalize the denominator, what are we going to do? Okay. So what we'll just do is multiply on top and down by root of 2. So this is going to give us 1 times root of 2 on top, that will be root of 2 down, root of 2 times root of 2, that is just a 2. So that's the answer. If I want, I can write this as 1 over 2 and then root of 2 like that. It's the same thing. When you're rationalizing something in the form a over root a, multiply on top by root a, also down by root a. Okay, so let's look at another one. Express the following in the form a plus b root c. So that's the form in which we want to express. And the first one, 2 square root of 3 minus 4 divided by 3 plus 3 square root of 3. So we want to express this one in this form. So as we can see, we have got what? We have got a division here. We need to rationalize. And how do we get to rationalize? We are going to multiply on top and down, but what we have down. But what we are going to do is, now just to avoid confusion, let me use this as a 2 so that it won't confuse us. We have got too many 3's. So look at just what is in the denominator. You're going to multiply on top and down by what is in the denominator. Just change the sign on the middle. Yes, so when you're multiplying, multiply both on top and down by the same. You know, the reason of doing this is this one over this one is a 1. Like something divided by itself is a 1. And all we are doing is we are multiplying 1 by this. When you multiply anything by a 1, you are not changing anything. So this is just an intelligent one for an intelligent student from big universities. Is it okay at this point? Is it okay at this point? Good. And then now let's cross multiply. This is going to be 2 root 2 multiplied by 2. What are we going to get if we multiply 2 root 2 by 2? What are we going to get? What will we get? 4 root 3. Good. Just multiply the number outside here with these two. So that is going to be 4 root 3. And then the next thing, get this one. 2 root 3 multiply by the negative 3 root 3. What are we going to get? What are we going to get? Wow, have heard different ones. Is it negative 6 root 9 or negative 6 root 3? Okay, so what you are doing is you get what is outside, which is a 2, multiply with the negative 3, that is going to give you negative 6. And then now multiply the root 3 with the root 3, that will give you root 9 or just the 3. Like root 9 is a 3. Remember we said when you multiply the same thing, just that thing which is inside will be the answer. And then go to negative 4. Negative 4 times 2, that's a negative 8. Then negative 4 times negative 3 root 3. What are we going to get? What will we get? Good. 12 root 3. And then in the denominator we write over. So we have got this times this. Now remember we said when we are multiplying a number by its conjugate, this is the number, this is its conjugate. Conjugate is just that same number but the sign is different. That's a conjugate. So all you do is this. Remember, this is in the form a plus b. This is the one a plus b, and then multiplied by a minus b. This one a minus b. So the only thing that is differing between these two is the sign. The rest is the same. So we said this is just a difference of two squares, a squared minus b squared. So in other words, just get the first thing which is here, you square it. That's what we are saying. And then minus, you get the second thing, you square it. The second thing is what? 3 root 3. You square it. That's what we are saying from here. If that is trick, you can go on, you get this one, multiply with that, get this one, multiply with that, and then get this one, multiply with this, get this one, multiply by this. But trust me, time is not always on your side in the exam. So that is the importance of you knowing that whenever multiply a number by its conjugate, is just the difference of two squares, a squared minus b squared. Just get the first one, square it. Always put a minus, and then get the second thing, also you square it. Does that make sense, friends? All right. So if it doesn't make sense, you can go on and multiply single term by term like that, just as we did on top. So on top here we've got 4 root 3 minus 6 times the 3, 18, minus 8, then plus 12 root 3, and then divided by 2 squared is a 4 minus 3 root 3 squared. That is going, if we get 3 squared, that is going to be a 9. And then root 3 squared will just be a 3. That is because the square and the root will cancel. So this square is applying both to 3 and also to root 3. So I shouldn't forget that. And then from there, we'll put like terms on top together. So this is going to be negative 18 minus 8. What's the answer? Negative 26. And then also this plus this. Just add what is outside. So that will be 4 plus 12. What we are adding is this 4 and this 12. Which is going to be what? 16 root 3. And then in the denominator we've got 9 multiplied by 3. What's the answer?
27.
27. And then so we're going to say 4 minus 27. That will give us negative 23 in the denominator. Remember, we want to leave the answer in this form. Now, this negative 23 in the denominator applies to both this and this. So I'm going to write this as negative 26 over negative 23 plus 16 root 3 over negative 23. It applies to both. So here, of course, there's no number that can go into 26 and 23. So that's the simplest form. Just the signs are going to cancel us. That to be 26 over 23. This negative and this positive, it just becomes negative because they're dividing. There's no number that can go into 16 and 23 without a remainder. So this will just remain 16 over 23, and then I can put root 3 alone here. So this is the form a plus ib. In this case, a is this term, b is negative 16 over 23, and then c is the 3 which is inside there. Any questions?
On the question, it's A plus B square root of C.
Yes.
Now, there is a negative, but the question there is a positive.
So that means that this b is negative 16 over 23. So if there was already a negative in the question here, that means b would have become positive 16 over 23. But because there is a positive here and the answer that you found is negative, that means b is a negative 16 over 23. Does that make sense? Hello? Does it make sense?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so let's look at two more questions. And then I've got a bunch of questions for practice. So we have got 2 over 4 plus, sorry, 2 over 3 plus root 2, and then minus 4 root 2 plus 3. So this is the question. We want to express it in this form. Now the question is how? Does anyone have any idea of how we can express it in that form? So the first thing to do is this portion that has got a fraction with a root down, we need to make sure that we break it so that there will be no root down. And how do we break it? We are going to rationalize the denominator. So I'm going to write it as 2 over 3 plus root 2, and then times. So this will be 3 minus root 2 over 3 minus root 2. Are we confused? Are we confused? Are we fine?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So let's proceed. Now from here, since I've already written this is the first part, and then minus 4 root 2 plus 3. What do you think? What are we going to do next from here? What are we going to do next? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. And then from the brackets, what do you do? Okay, good. I like the, you know, it shows we are learning. So first work what is outside the bracket. So 2 times 3, that is going to be a 6. And then 2 times negative 2 root 2, what will be the answer? Sorry, 2 times negative root 2, what will be the answer? If we multiply this and this. Good, very good. Negative 2 root 2. And then in the denominator, remember, multiplying a number by its conjugate. Just get the first number, you square it. Then minus the second number, you square it also. And then you have got plus 4 root 2 plus 3. So on top we have got 6 minus 2 root 2. Down we're going to have 3 squared, which is a 9. Let me just write here 9. Minus root 2 squared is just a 2. 9 minus 2 is a 7. So in the denominator we're just going to have a 7. And then plus 4 root 2 plus 3. Okay, so let me clean up something here.
So just before you clean up here,
Yes.
that where you've put a plus, it was supposed to be minus.
Oh, thank you very much. That's a minus on the negative 4 root 2. That's a minus. Okay. There is a minus here. And then we are going to now split this. The 7 applies to 6 and also to 2 root 2. So it will be 6 over 7 minus 2 over 7 root 2. And then we have got negative 4 root 2 and then plus 3. Like that. Then from here now we can put like terms together. Constants. First we've got 6 over 7. We are going to bring a 3 with it. And then we are going to have negative 2 over 7 root 2 minus 4 root 2. Now just add. Add this. Now when you're adding fractions, when you've got a over b plus c over d, simplest way of adding or subtracting, we use the butterfly way. Multiply this, so that will be ad. Get the sign on the middle plus. Then multiply this, that will be bc. And then over, multiply this, that will be bd. So this is the same as over 1. So 6 times 1, that's a 6. Plus 7 times 3, which is a 21. Over 7 times 1, which is a 7. And then go to the next. Now remember, when you are adding surds, add those which are outside together. So I'm going to put a plus here. I'm going to put a plus, and then I'm going to get the whole of this thing, which is negative 2 over 7, and then minus 4, and then I'll put a root 2 outside. Someone can ask, where has the plus come from? So the plus will not affect the operation here. That is because when I just get this together, if I multiply it with a plus, it will be itself. But if I put a minus here, then I'll change the question. I'm going to change the sign. Or maybe someone left behind with a plus. Okay, I hope the. Okay. So if you want, you can go with a minus. You're going to say negative 2 over 7 minus 4, like that. And then you put a root 2 there. It means you not put anything here. So the plus is just maintaining like the connection of this part which has no roots with this part with the roots. So 6 plus 21, that is 27 over 7. And then we are saying plus. Also, this one is over 1. Negative 2 times 1, that's a negative 2. And then 7 times negative 4, negative 28. Over 7 times 1, which is a 7. And then root 2. This is going to give us 27 over 7. Negative 2 minus 28, that's negative 30. And this will be negative 30 times now this positive. So it gives us a negative 30 over 7 root 2. So there, we have expressed it in this form. As simple as that. Any question? Okay, the last question now, which is an equation involving sides. Find the value of x and y. Very simple question. So we have got 2 divided by 4 minus 3 root 5 is equal to x plus, okay, x plus y root 5. The question is find the value of x and y. So to find the value of x and y, basically what we just do is get to rationalize the denominator. And then we are going to compare the left hand of the equation with the right hand of the equation. So this is 2 divided by 4 minus 3 root 5. And then we are multiplying that by the conjugate. So just change the sign. Also in the denominator 4 plus 3 root 5. And this is equal to x plus y root 5. So 2 times 4, that is 8. 2 times 3 root 5, that is 6 root 5, over. Now, I'm multiplying a number by its conjugate. Get the first number, you square it, that will be 16. Minus, get the second number, you square it. And this is going to be equal to x plus y root 5. So that will give us 8 plus 6 root 5 over 16 minus a 3 squared is a 9. 5 root 5 squared is just 5. So this is basically 9 times 5. And what's the answer? Is it 45? That's 45. And this is supposed to be equal to x plus y root 5. And then you just get to add what's down. So we've got 8 plus 6 root 5 over 16 minus 45. That's negative 29. And that is equal to x plus y root 5. And then from here we're going to distribute the negative 29 because it applies to both parts. So that will be 8 over negative 29 plus 6 root 5 over negative 29, and that is going to be x plus y root 5. Now we don't advise putting negatives down, so this is the same as negative 8 over 29 minus 6 over 29 root 5, and that is equal to x plus y root 5. Therefore, x is equal to negative 8 over 29 and y is equal to negative 6 over 29. And that is it.